Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And as your wise man, I'm here to bestow upon you the wisdom that you're listening to Punks Talk Wrestling.
1, 2, 3, 4. Welcome to Punks Talk Wrestling! On this episode, the Road to WrestleMania continues! With the Elimination Chamber right around the corner, we talk about all our predictions of what we could see at this year's WrestleMania! I am R.W. Hellborn, the PA Rock Prince, hailing quote-unquote from Philly! And I am one half of the crowd, which is one half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the World! Now, then, and forever by my side, 3,500 miles away in London, England, he is my tag team podcast partner. He's the other half of the Crown, which is the other half of your Punks Talk Wrestling Inter-Universal Tag Team Podcast Champions of the World! Mr. Did You Know? Sir King of Reels! The Proper Prick! C.J. Newman!
Slightly different tack on the surname.
A little bit. Yeah.
Did you know that out of the in the Royal Rumble match, there have been 40 Royal Rumble matches, but only 33 of those matches had any sort of consequence going towards WrestleMania, which is from 1993 onwards. But only 30 of those matches actually went on. So the winner would go to face the champion at at WrestleMania. So we had 1997, Stone Cold Steve Austin won, but he never actually competed for the title at WrestleMania.
Oh.
Vince McMahon won in 1999, did not compete at WrestleMania. And then John Cena cashed in his opportunity prior to WrestleMania. And Triple H won the WWE Championship in the Royal Rumble in 2016. So those are the few times that it didn't happen. But my main fact here going into all of this is the success rate. So 18 out of those 30 times, the winner of the Men's Royal Rumble match has gone on to win the championship. So that is a 60% success rate of winning your WrestleMania championship match at WrestleMania on the men's side of things.
Bad.
And for this is not bad. So it's 18 out of 30. But on the women's side of things, there have been 8 Royal Rumbles, and only 5 of those have gone on to win, and that is a success rate of 62.5% chance of winning.
Nice, slightly
the championship,
slightly higher chance.
It's just slightly higher. And if you're wondering, over the years, we've had 20 attempts on the WWE Championship. We've had 7 attempts on the World Heavyweight Championship, which is the 2002 to 2013 version. We've had 5 attempts on the Universal Championship, and we've had 1 attempt on the current World Heavyweight Championship, which would be Jey Uso last year. And on the women's side of things, you've got 4 attempts on the SmackDown / Women's World Championship. You've had 3 attempts on the WWE Women's Championship on the Raw side of things, and you've had 1 attempt on the NXT Championship, Women's Championship, which where the year Charlotte Flair went up against Rhea Ripley during the pandemic.
That's right. Yes, the only time it was.
That is one fact-loaded fucking did you know?
That is a lot of no's to did you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I love it.
And with that, how's about we talk about the road?
Not yet.
How's about I shut the fuck up?
We changed it up again. First, before that, do our shout outs. Shout out to Wikipedia, support Wikipedia. That is where we get the majority of our information for these podcasts. Shout out to Al at 2K and Kaylee at 2K UK. Pre-order your edition of WWE 2K26 now at www.2k.com. The Cure, gummies that help prevent hangovers. You can get 20% off of your entire order at liqueur.com. That's LIQURE.com. Use the discount code PTW at your checkout and you get 20% off of everything. Liqueur, gummies that help prevent hangovers. Old Glory, iconic music and sports fan merchandise. That is what they sell. That is what it says. And what you can get 15% off of your entire order when you use the promo code PTW at checkout. So there you go.
Look at that. You're a pro, man.
Almost.
I mean, you're certainly
I am a professional. There might be a little UN before that sometimes, but professional is part.
For the most part, professional is part of it.
Or
true.
something. You know what?
Or something like that.
Anyhow.
And with that, how's about we talk about the Road to WrestleMania? All right, let's get the fuck into this.
Yeah.
We are on the road to WrestleMania now that Royal Rumble was a few weeks ago. So we are, I think, basically, this episode is going to be kind of like a very early predictions of maybe what the WrestleMania card could look like.
Yeah.
But obviously, with that, looking at what Elimination Chamber could look like and just generally what the Road to WrestleMania would look like. Just generally our Road to WrestleMania predictions,
Yes,
I guess.
we've got in order to even try to predict WrestleMania, we must first predict Elimination Chamber. And
Right.
I think let's see, what do we have? The only thing that we know for certain right now about WrestleMania is Roman versus CM Punk, right?
So Roman versus Punk seems to be what's happening. I know we've got Punk versus Finn Balor at Elimination Chamber, but it wouldn't be the first time that they've done that at the Chamber, where they've had a match that is a title match, but we all know which way it's going to go. So
I mean, see, we're in a weird. Yeah, we clearly. I almost wish we didn't have the CM Punk versus Finn Balor again, because that is, like I said, it kind of feels like we know what's going to happen there.
We kind of know where it's going. Yeah, exactly. So,
but
it is what it is. I mean, it will be a fun match. It's in CM Punk's, it's in Chicago, so that will be, added obviously a cool element to it.
Right.
I mean, if they did pull the major mega swerve and have Finn Balor win, it would be the weirdest. It would be a very weird choice, I have to say.
It really would. It would shake up a lot of things. Because even though they're saying that Roman clearly picked CM Punk, like that
right.
Whether anything could happen to change that is what we're going on right now, and seeing as that is what the main thing is, it just it kind of since we got to get through the Elimination Chamber first, let's talk about that match. I don't know why we're doing it at all. I really don't. We already had Finn Balor lose to CM Punk in Ireland. Why are we doing this again?
Yeah.
So it's either some crazy swerve, and maybe there's something that can be brought out of this that causes a dusty finish. Maybe Finn Balor. Finn Balor wins
I'm pretty much
disqualification or wins via countout somehow.
Yeah, I feel like.
But
I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be a clean finish. I'm sure Roman Reigns will get involved in this match somehow. But then after that, I just don't know. Well, I'd say I don't know where that leaves Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But in my honest opinion, what I feel like will happen is Finn Balor will ultimately, lose this match, win it by disqualification, but obviously leave the event without a championship. But then obviously that will cause more fracture with him and Dominic, and I feel like we'll end up with Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
Ooh.
That's my prediction there for that
That's
title.
that's wild. That's wild and wonderful prediction right there, because it requires multiple things to happen in order to get there. Do you so you think Finn is going to get relegated down to the IC belt? Like, I mean, he made a pretty point that he wanted.
But I think it depends how you look at it, because let's face facts here, right?
Yeah.
We kind of know he's not going to win the championship. Now,
yes,
after
I think
that,
I think we can safely say he's not leaving leaving Elimination Chamber with the World Heavyweight Championship. So either he loses.
With that, there's no other choice but to quote unquote relegate down to another championship. And if you've got a guy in your faction who is already holding 2 championships, he's gonna feel jealous. Also, you could also have Dominic Mysterio get involved in that match, and
there could be a call,
to try and help Finn, but then ends up costing him the match.
I see that we might be seeing a split. We might be seeing a Judgment Day split, but it's very peculiar, because we've got problems between, well, they may or may not be actual problems between Liv and Raquel with all of that.
Yeah.
What is that if Liv decides that she wants to face the world champion, then there's still going to be fractures between her and Raquel. So
yeah.
We could see, I don't know. We could see something. Okay. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, now we're talking about Judgment Day breaking up by WrestleMania. This is if we get a match between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio for a championship, that's the end of. It's not an inter-Judgment Day. Well, let's just keep it in the family. That's a Finn is out, and does that leave? Are we ready to see the end of the Judgment Day? Because I don't know that I'm really ready for it yet.
It depends, because it depends how you look at it. Like, Judgment Day has been a faction now for this is their 4th year. That's in which, by the way, in any company, in any standard of any faction, that's a long fucking time.
That is a long time. But it has been an evolving faction. Because
it's been an evolving faction, but it has obviously there's no one in the faction now that was obviously in the original formation.
No, Finn is.
But I think
Finn is the longest tenured member because.
But look at this. Yeah, Finn's obviously joined, and like when Edge was still in the faction, and then they booted him out the same night. But I think like the fact that they've been around longer than Evolution. They've been around longer than DX. They've been around longer than NWO. And all of their original runs, they've been around longer than any of those factions, and that's crazy. That's almost unheard of, especially in the modern era.
But it also shows how amazingly good at being a faction all of those people are, and
I think you're right, but I think it's just run its course, because I think you're constantly going to be, again, like Dominic Mysterio. This faction has built him from the ground up. When he joined this faction, he was, like we were speaking about last week, he was so green, and in this faction he has grown, and now he's a double champion. He's at the face of AAA. With that, he needs to be alone. He needs to go solo for the first time in his entire career. He was with Ray. He was with Judgment Day.
Yeah, he needs
to go it alone.
That is true. He has never actually been on his own. But he if he were to leave Judgment Day, or if Judgment Day just disbanded, would Liv go with him, or is there? So let's focus on this for 1 minute, and then we'll move on from this area, because I don't want to take too much time on this. I could see it. Here's how I could see it going. We could get some shenanigans in the match. You know, they've been teasing the breakup, so we don't need to do much to continue that. If we want the Judgment Day to continue, even if it continues without Finn Balor, I think the only way Judgment Day can continue, unless Finn Balor reestablishes himself and gets a world championship, which he's clearly not doing from on Raw.
No.
I think Judgment Day can continue only if what if this happens? What if there could be shenanigans that you know, accidental shenanigans where Dominic causes a problem, or what if other issues of CM Punk's shit comes up? You know, what if other people decide they want to get, that doesn't have to do with Judgment Day, or just other people who have a problem with the Judgment Day, which are a number of people could still. I could see Finn Balor, something happening where Finn Balor pulls an edge kind of situation, and we'll likely discuss this in the next episode that we're recording after this, where Finn loses this match and somehow breaks his way into the Elimination Chamber match, then wins the Elimination Chamber. Because this is how I can get off of this, because this would be my crazy prediction. Would be Finn pulls this, he gets in the Elimination Chamber. Now, if he wins the Elimination Chamber, that's for Drew. That's his chance at the undisputed championship. And now Finn's over on SmackDown, and Finn can either still be representing the Judgment Day on his own, or he can just be on his own because the rest of Judgment Day is still on Raw. I
guess so, but I think you've already got so much going around the WWE Championship on SmackDown with Cody, Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton. Like, there's it's too late now. This far, even 2 weeks now into the Road to WrestleMania, it's too late to drop him into something that's already quite fully formed. We don't quite know, and we can probably move on to that match now. I do think that the match will be Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu for the WWE Championship.
See,
at WrestleMania.
I don't see how that can happen now, because both Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu are in the triple threat with Sami Zayn for one of the spots.
That's true.
So
yeah.
So, and again, this might be, oh God, this could be us looking at. It hurts me to even say it, but Sami Zayn's going to win this triple threat match. I think Sami Zayn is going to win this triple threat match.
You're probably right, because I think Jacob and Cody will cost each other that match because they can't keep their hands off each other.
They will cost each other the match, and Drew will be involved in screwing both of them because again, there is still something. There's still something going on with the fact that Drew McIntyre was not the person that took out Jacob Fatu. He is still adamant that he's not, and there's no reason. The reason why it can't possibly be Drew anymore is because Drew has no reason to lie about it. There's no reason for him not to, because of his hatred towards all of the bloodline originally and anyone in that family. Which really, he still hates Sami Zayn also for the similar reasons and all the other reasons to hate Sami Zayn, which are many. There's so many reasons. It can't be. I think I was expecting this triple threat match to actually happen at Elimination Chamber. That there would actually be that they would just get this triple threat match before Mania, and somehow we're going to get into this feud. there's something going on between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. Cody had issues with the bloodline when Jacob Fatu was still in the bloodline, right?
Well, Jacob Fatu wasn't in the bloodline. Jacob Fatu was in
He was
Solos.
in Solos, right? That never was considered the bloodline. It was never actually the bloodline, right? It was Solo Sikoa still trying to become the tribal chief.
Yeah, still trying to do something. Yeah.
I
mean, ideally, what I would like to see is I would like to just see Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. That would be my WrestleMania match if I was to have it my way. And then I would just probably try and have. This doesn't make any sense, but I would just have Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes because you can. But at the same time, we've kind of seen that match already. It's not for any. I think if anything, if we're gonna have Randy Orton versus Cody, it's gonna be a heel Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes for the championship at some point down the line.
I can see. I can definitely see that. I can definitely see that in the future. But I don't. But I can't. But
in the future. But I don't see it now. I don't see it now. That's But the thing is that many different predictions that I'm going to make here are like it leaves so many people out. Like, Sami Zayn. He's not going to be part of the title picture by WrestleMania. But then what do you do with him by
well,
WrestleMania?
if he wins the
kind of
see
like
that's my worry is if they somehow allow Sami Zayn to win the Elimination Chamber, and have his WrestleMania. I could see it happening, but I don't.
I think it would be ridiculous to. I almost think it's almost so ridiculous already that to have Finn versus CM Punk just after it happened.
Yeah.
It'd be even wilder to have Sammy have his shot already at the Royal Rumble, lose it, and then have another shot at WrestleMania. You kind of want your WrestleMania main events to be like first time matches in a way. And you don't want repeats, and like that's just a rematch. You don't have rematches as your main events.
But to this point, the good thing about it is I don't know. I really don't know because
I really don't know either,
on the other side of it, we also have we still have Dominic Mysterio versus Gunther versus Javon Evans in a triple threat for another spot, and then we have two more spots that we don't even know who. Like there are still qualifying matches. We could see just a surprise entrant. Who knows? So it's really what's wild is it is really hard to tell.
It's super hard, which is great, and I love it when it's hard to tell. But I think looking past the Elimination Chamber, that those are the only places I can see it going. As far as it goes for I've got my predictions for Dominic Mysterio and his I still think it'll be him and Finn. For United States Championship, I would just go the easy route, but the fun route, which is just have Carmella Hayes do a ladder match open challenge at WrestleMania, but you don't know who he's going to face. So it would be like 6 competitors or 5 other competitors.
Like a Money in the Bank ladder match, but instead for the have the U.S. title ladder match.
Yeah, and have a
TLC, basically
have
a TLC
that be
match.
open challenge.
Oh, just whoever gets down, whoever are the first to quote unquote, whoever are the first to get down there, that would be wild. Because we've never seen.
That would be cool, right? So never seen anything like that.
We've never seen. The only time we've had a true surprise, opponent, which we all knew was Cody Rhodes, was the surprise opponent against Seth when Cody first came back. So I don't think we've ever, to my knowledge, and anyone feel free to prove me wrong or just show me where I've never surprise me by if you know of any other surprise entrants especially for a title match from WrestleMania. That's what, actually that's probably a good idea. Before we get to so that's the US that I like that idea. Because at this point we can't even speculate who else might be there. I think a WrestleMania Open Challenge that also brings the question of, if it's a WrestleMania Open Challenge, do we see Chris Jericho come back? You know?
Yeah, but this with the United States Championship, like there's obviously the obvious people like Matt Cardona, Aleister Black, The Miz, the really obvious people that you could throw in a Solo.
If
Sikoa,
it's a ladder match, that we're not going to see Jericho in a multi-man ladder match qualification at his age, I don't think.
No, exactly. But we certainly could see him in the Elimination Chamber as well. That could easily happen.
We
too,
could,
so.
yeah. That's a possibility. But then again, if he shows up, he doesn't. If he shows up in the Elimination Chamber, that's kind of that would be weird for him to return to lose. He's not going to win the Elimination Chamber, and
no, he's not. Yeah. But you could. It doesn't. I don't think that matters because one, he's a legend. He doesn't need to win that match. Also, depending who's in that match, he could someone could cost him that could start a storyline right there with him and another guy, and then they could a match at WrestleMania.
He doesn't need to. Yeah, if he comes back, he doesn't need to be thrust into a title picture immediately, even though he is Chris Jericho. Because then you wind up with something where a guy just shows up and he wins a title, and then 11 days later he loses the title, and then everybody questions why did you even do that? You know, I don't know who would do something like that, but
on the other side of stuff, I mean, really.
Okay, we got. I think we kind of have an idea. That's a great. I mean,
I think that's kind of like. I think that's generally like the men's.
Yeah, I think the Open Challenge
championship.
Yeah, we know because what other? Well, we've got tag titles. We got tag titles to talk about.
Tag titles, I think are going to be. I'd like to see the Usos versus Logan Paul and Austin Theory. I think that would be.
I think that would. Yeah, I think getting some belts on the Vision would be really, really smart, especially with the unknown with Braun Breaker's now unknown thing. I don't know. See, that's another one of those things where I don't know if this is a real injury, if it's a real injury that's really that's nowhere near as bad as what they say, or if it's a worked injury because they just want to cool him down a little bit. Because I can see that's the same thing we know what happens when you push someone too fast. Eventually they get there, they get to the top where everyone's like, put the title on him right now. Okay, and then what? And then does he just sit on the title and then beat everybody? And you have this guy in this who he's great and he's big and he's strong and he's fast and he's all the things that Braun Breaker, like, he is a great professional wrestler, but he's not the guy to be champion right now either. He's just not, in my opinion. And I think getting him so close and then pulling the plug on him would be smart. Like, it wouldn't be a bad idea to pull it out from under him with something like an injury that's not being buried. You can't bury someone because they got hurt. They can use this as a legitimate cool down period so that he can come back and then again ramp up and be like, oh, forget about me, motherfuckers. Boom, boom, boom. Spear, spear, spear. Everybody's know, and he can stay angry and it doesn't matter. I just think that if they ran headfirst into putting the title on Braun, he's going to become a champion, and then he either sits on the championship and everyone gets mad because he's not doing anything, or he beats everybody and then there's no one to beat, or he loses it immediately again, and then that was pointless. So, I mean, I think the best thing for him is that he kind of got iced a little bit. Put on, I shouldn't say. He got chilled. He got chilled off. He got cooled down a little bit.
He got put on the cooler.
He got put in the fridge.
Yeah.
We've got with the women's side of things, we've got even before we get to WrestleMania, we've got Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee for the women's Intercontinental title at Elimination Chamber.
And my prediction for that is that match will kind of basically just not happen, and it will fall apart, and then it will happen at WrestleMania.
Ooh, I do kind of like that idea.
That's my prediction.
Because the alternative, I don't think any alternatives. Yeah, that has a good.
That's the mega match right there. That's the big. That's the.
That has a good chance of becoming a double count out kind of thing. Where they just go nuts, they beat each other up, they both because you need to see that, and maybe maybe they can have a steel cage match at WrestleMania, or maybe they can have some other kind of stipulation match,
something like that.
At the end of but if we do then get it again, obviously AJ Lee has to beat Becky at some point for that title.
Yeah.
And maybe Becky can win it back again, or maybe AJ. Is there anyone else left on the roster that has history with AJ Lee? Maybe some of the Bellas, maybe Natty, but again, I don't know where you go with that unless you pull another one of these. Well, I want it, but I'm also like retiring. I'm not really here full time, so I'm gonna win it and then retire again. We don't know whether how long AJ's sticking around. I mean, hell, we don't even know how long CM Punk is sticking around.
By the sounds of things, she did sign like a multi-year contract.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. I have been so far out of the realm of even looking at what people do with contracts and that sort of things. So
yeah.
That might be. So maybe we can have a good run with her. But I think either way, we're probably going to see Becky Lynch drop away for a little while again. She might have. I don't know how things with.
Yeah,
I don't know how things with Star Trek are going. I've heard some mixed reviews of things, so I don't know if it's true or not, so I'm not going to speculate on things I heard on the internet from people that may or may not even be real people. So yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing AJ Lee with some gold. I think that'll be great for her, and
yeah, and it'd be good to see her on a bit of a more consistent basis, because we kind of seen her very sporadic. I was actually really surprised to not see her in the Royal Rumble, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, but
yeah,
but that also makes sense if because she's in a thing with Becky Lynch. So why put her in the Rumble for a title she's not yet ready to go for?
Yeah.
I think the only thing.
Then on the other side of things, if we're talking about surprise, people in Elimination Chambers, then I could easily see Bianca Belair being something like that in Elimination Chamber, and then going for Jade Cargill. I think that's it's how we haven't seen Bianca Belair for this long. I don't know. Also, I don't know if you saw this or not, just a complete sidetrack for a second. Did you? Montez Ford wrestled an NXT house show last week with Street Profits against another tag team.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to say this in the nicest way possible. He's really chubby.
Really?
Like Montez Ford, the chiseled, 0% body fat. Like he has a gut on him.
Really? That's bizarre. I wonder.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I know that, and what's weird is I know a lot of tag teams have been working NXT and like the superstar shows, the dark matches, because Motor City Machine Guns was doing a dark match against another tag team just the other day too, and like
my only prediction with Montez Ford with that is that hopefully it's similar to like Sheamus recently, where he had packed on the pounds in order to bulk up, and maybe that's what Montez Ford is in the middle of right now.
They might have called him in before he was prepared to be called in. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's the case, and like I've been calling for a Montez Ford solo run for years.
Oh,
'cause I think
absolutely.
he's a star waiting to happen.
Absolutely.
So maybe that's the situation. Maybe that's something they're aiming towards for later this year, so that he's kind of getting ready for that role.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, but yeah, going back to the women's championship, yeah, I think Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. The story's already written; it's already there.
Yeah.
I think that's the most logical place to go.
How did they ever?
And then obviously that leaves.
Why did they ever get? How did they ever even get to? I don't even remember. How did they get to? Because we knew it was Naomi. Naomi was the one that actually took Jade Cargill out when the tossed her.
Yeah, I'll have to refresh my memory, but I know that Bianca Belair was stuck in the middle of all that, and so, I think Jade Cargill certainly saw Bianca like just teaming up with Naomi as a bit of a betrayal in itself.
Right during that time, but she
obviously,
didn't know.
Yeah, during that, yeah.
But
she didn't know. But I think, but now with Jade Cargill being a heel, I think it just solidifies how she felt, and then they can move forward.
Right? Is she really a heel, or is she just quote unquote that bitch? Is she just? She's just angry. But I guess she's coming out and just beating people up for no reason, and she's.
Exactly, and she's being a prick to everyone. That's a heel.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, you're right. You're right. She's her attitude is more heelish than anything.
Right, and I think that all that leaves us with on the championship side of things is the women's tag team championship.
There's the Raw. Oh no, SmackDown. We got SmackDown tag titles. We've got our tag title things. I think
if I'm completely honest with you. I think I don't see a SmackDown Tag Team Championship match anywhere on the card. I just don't.
Ugh.
Those tag team titles are lost, man. They are just floundering around.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're just nothing happening with them at all.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, it's one of those. They're still in this issue of there's not enough tag teams to have 2 tag team titles. On the brands.
I would do exactly what they do with the women's tag team championships and have one set of tag team championships which goes between the shows.
And maybe that's what we could actually see. Maybe that's the actual match. Is we see a
that would also be great match. Because that would be good because you got the Usos versus Solo Sikoa's bloodline MFTs. That's all within the family, so that could be a great match.
Wait, do they have? I thought Wyatt 6 still had the tag titles. Do the MFTs?
No, they won them back.
The MFTs got them?
Yeah, MFTs won them.
I don't know how I missed that. Okay.
And there you go. Case in point. No one gives a fuck about their championships right now.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. This has nothing to do with. Well, it kind of has a little bit to do with it because it has to do with WrestleMania and someone who's probably not going to have a place there, and that's Uncle Howdy. And the whole Wyatt 6 is just.
It sucks, and
I
wanted that to work.
Yeah,
I wanted it to work, but it's just not. It's not working.
It's just not working. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's too far. It's too little, too late. I think at this point, with, he's as much as it sucks.
My way, I would sack off the Wyatt 6 and have them all go in their separate ways. Mm-hmm. I would have Bo Dallas drop the Uncle Howdy gimmick, but he could still be that creepy kind of Bray Wyatt gimmick, but just have him be Bo Dallas. We don't need him to be...
Yeah.
I don't even like Uncle Howdy. I think he's much better when he pulls promos as himself than it is when he's Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
I'd much rather he just went as creepy Bo Dallas instead.
Yeah, that's something that when we're talking about the end of factions like that, I think they just need to give up on it. I think they just need to give up on it. It's never going to be anywhere close to what Bray was capable of creating with his mind.
And I think everyone knows that, and that's why it's not working, because it's just you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
We're just grasping at anything that, unless for some reason the intellectual property is still goes to Bray's family, and like if they're making money, if his family's still getting residuals from Uncle Howdy masks, then
I'm sure that's the
then
case,
by all means,
yeah.
you know what? Then by all means, keep it going as long as you can. But
Yeah.
but something has to happen with that. Something has to happen with that because it's just not working anymore, in my opinion.
And it's funny as well because I couldn't even if you plopped me right now on the creative team and asked me what to do with the Wyatt Six, I wouldn't know what to tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I don't know I don't even know what you could do with them, honestly. Like the thing is with today modern day wrestling is that I feel like there's no space anymore for these creepy characters because everything's so reality based now that it doesn't even fit in.
Not
almost.
with that, yeah.
And that sucks because I enjoy those characters, but that's kind of how that's where the business has gone, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to save it. And maybe it's just not worth saving at this point. I mean, that's just it.
Yeah. The only other thing additional to all the championship matches, because that's what we've got
women's
is
we've got the women's U.S. title too.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's another championship, which I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
with.
Man, it's SmackDown. SmackDown's really having problems.
Yeah, it's mainly those two. It's mainly those two title pictures. I'd say it's. But I mean, here's the deal. I like just like you didn't know who the tag title champions were. I can't remember who the fucking US champion is. It Chelsea Green?
I think Julia has it back again now. At the moment, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that should be. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know what you would do with that. Yeah, Julia.
Yeah, I have no idea where to go with that either. I also think they're having problems. I think Julia should not have been brought to the main roster yet. That's the main. That's the number one thing. I think.
Quick.
I think it was. I think she needed more time in NXT. I think it was just unnecessary.
Yeah, and I think that like this championship as well, this US championship's been around for over a year and a half, and the fact that we just had Chelsea Green hold it twice, Julia hold it twice, and Zelina Vega for a very short 62 days.
Minute, yeah. It's not good. It's not great. It's not great.
What's going on? Yeah.
Well,
outside of championships,
yeah,
though,
do we think we have any?
To something? Obviously at WrestleMania, you don't just have championship matches. We have grudge matches or feuds.
So grudge matches, there's always a good feud, a good grudge match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So who do we think?
The easy one to go for is if Cody and Jacob aren't in the title picture, then boom, that's a grudge match.
Right.
Easy.
Absolutely.
Street fight, whatever you want to do. Another easy one to go for, which you could set up, which it's Brock Lesnar. Feel about whatever you want to feel about him, but he's still a draw, and I think. What would be amazing and just the craziest fucking way to introduce someone is if you had Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar and Obafemi just bulldozes Brock Lesnar on the grandest fucking stage. That would be quite the introduction for Obafemi.
That would be pretty awesome. I know I know that there's been people that have wanted to see Brock versus Gunther.
Yeah, that's also a match that people have been talking about for quite a few years. Actually,
yeah. that would be pretty good. I mean, I would love for Gunther to continue his career killer moniker, and somehow beat Brock Lesnar at Mania. That would be pretty fantastic for me. So either way, yeah, but I don't see, but that unless it would have to come about relatively soon, but you can't just not announce that match. Like it's not like you'd have Gunther come out and like just be, make a challenge to anyone, I challenge anyone for their career,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could now that I say it, you could, but you would never have a Brock Lesnar match without already knowing Brock Lesnar was on the card. Aside from the Royal Rumble,
yeah,
which
I mean, the fact
count.
that Obafemi was eliminated from the Rumble by Brock, so that there's something to latch onto there if you did want to go that direction.
There certainly is.
And I think as well, you could obviously have Brock versus Gunther without the career on the line, because obviously you can't have every fucking big match that Gunther's involved in to be that kind of match.
True.
Another big thing we could go towards, and it totally depends on injuries, but if we could somehow end up at Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania, then that would be a clear grudge match situation right there. But that's
Braun Breaker
big if.
Oh, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, because he clearly has a problem. We still don't even know who that masked superstar was. So
still don't know.
So that right there keeps Braun out of the title picture. He's injured. I mean, they could play it any way they want with that. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But then do we really want Seth losing at WrestleMania to Braun Breaker? Will that be good? Well, if Seth and I see this is the other thing. I can't help but try to if I think too above the board of like, well, what if Seth and Becky want to have another kid, so they're gonna like both take off after Mania? Maybe they could maybe Seth comes back and he gets beat. But if Seth comes back and then just gets beat up and leaves again, like that's not good.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'd like to. It sucks for both of them if they are injured, but it probably is best for them just to leave it and do that story properly when they're both healthy.
Yeah.
After WrestleMania, that's how, and run it towards like SummerSlam. But that's probably the better way to go about it. But yeah, I think that's it. And I'm gonna throw one more match out there, and this one's a fun one because why the fuck not? Let's have Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny, because why the fuck not,
Wow, that would be pretty amazing. Yeah, that would be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We also could have the other thing. Let's not let it go. We could have Mask versus Mask, El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano Original.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, big, that would, and then whoever loses has to take the mask off, and then there's a whole other storyline about that. Or maybe they never. Or maybe they never do. Maybe they never do. Maybe they never take the mask off, and we'll never know. We'll never truly know.
Never know
who
the
there.
real identity.
Yeah.
I would love to see, because of the relationship with WWE and AAA right now, I'd love to see Dominic Mysterio defend each championship on night 1 and night 2.
That would be cool. I would also like to see I know they sometimes do it. They have their own event beforehand, but maybe we see some NXT people at WrestleMania. Maybe Joe.
Yeah, that would be
maybe
cool.
if Joe Hendry is still the NXT champion by WrestleMania, that he defends that. I don't know if they plan. I don't know if they plan on having their own NXT event. In relation, they probably will. They
probably will.
The chances
they
of
normally
that,
announce something.
Yeah, the chances of that
stand and deliver normally, right?
Yeah. But I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing some NXT talent, at WrestleMania as well.
Yeah.
The actual WrestleMania. So, I mean, what else? I don't know what else to get into yet. We've still, there's still so much up in the air that we don't know about.
This is the thing. It's like things will start forming and taking shape over the next few weeks, but it's quite fun to come at it from this really early stage and see where the hell we're going.
Absolutely. I can't. No matter what, I can't wait to see where we're going, because so much of this, we can make our predictions, we can do our fantasy booking, but there is just so much up in the air that we don't know. God, we don't. I mean, the most concrete thing that we claim to know is Roman versus Punk, and who knows what's going to happen. Something could happen to change that.
That's a whole nother kettle of fish. I couldn't even start to predict where that's gonna
Yes. Go. Well, hey, I think that sounds like a pretty good spot to wrap it up for this one. Hey, if you've got any other ideas on what you want to see at WrestleMania, or even before that, tell us your Elimination Chamber predictions too. You can. There it is. Sorry, I'm scrolling. You can also subscribe for free at patreon.com/punkstalkwrestling and interact with us on social media at Instagram and Threads at punkstalkwrestling or youtube.com/punkstalkwrestling. And you can also email us at punkstalkwrestling@gmail.com.
That's right.
I think that's it. I think that's really it then.
I think that's really so it now.
That's it.
It's never been more over.
Has it? Yeah.
You know what?
What?
Goodbye. Super duper whooper.